of water, H2O, agua, not of alcohol, bitch ass nigga. But let me zoom this properly first. Every year, once a year, a film drops that is so bad that it actually flips the scale, inverts, and becomes good because it's so bad I can just sit there and laugh at it. And this year's movie is War of the Worlds. And at first when I heard people making fun of this movie, I thought it was usual internet just making fun of a movie just to make fun of it. But then I saw a couple creators I know that don't just ride with the trends and make fun of everything, say this movie was genuine ass. So I say, you know what? For giggles and shits, let me watch it. Because usually I watch it and it's a good movie. But oh no, this time they were right. This movie is fucking terrible, my nigga. And to solidify it, I found out this movie. Hold on. To solidify it, I found out that this movie has one of the trademarks of every bad movie, and that's the fact that this movie is based off of a book. You heard me correctly, people. There is a book named War of the Worlds that was adapted into a movie, and that is the very movie that we're going to talk about today. And yes, I know, there are a few movies that are edge cases that were adopted from books that weren't bad. But I can't name you a single movie like that. I can't. And if a nigga say something like, oh, what about Harry Potter? I didn't read that. You know what I did read before it was adopted into a movie? Percy Jackson. You know what I did read before it was adapted into a movie? Ready Player One. I saw the trailer for that movie and I was like, oh, hell no, I ain't watching this. I'm looking at the trailer and I already see several fucked up details. This shit is supposed to be based off of all 80s games and they got Halo in the trailer? Nope. And one of the characters in the trailer was supposed to be a female. They made him a blue alien and shit. I was like, nah, hell no, y'all fucking up critical vital details. So anytime I see a movie based off of a book, I already know it's gonna be a triple decker ass kick. And I didn't find that out to the beginning of this movie, and that's when it all made sense. But let's get into the meat and potatoes of this. Now, if you're watching a video version of this, I'ma sit here and assume that you've already watched the entirety of this movie. So I don't want to hear me mention a plot point and you're sitting in the comments like, I didn't know about that, bro. That's a spoiler. Why are you watching a video about the movie if you care about spoilers? So now that we got that little baby disclaimer out the way, let's get to talking about this film. Now, I will be using this article to generate conversation, but I will still be talking about different parts of the movie in depth. And one thing I do want to say, because I always want to say something positive about any movie or piece of media I talk about. For about the first 15 minutes of the film, the plot was tight, concise, and coherent. It made sense and it was following a narrative track and a narrative structure that made sense. But once the 16th minute of the movie hit, everything good about the movie ceases to fucking exist. And another critical detail that I feel like people will be mad at me if I don't mention is that this movie was shot and filmed and supposed to be released during COVID. That doesn't fucking matter because this shit would have been ass either way. Amazon's new War of the Worlds movie starring Ice Cube and Eva Longoria, which, by the way, Eva Longoria is barely in the fucking movie, so don't get your hopes up, my nigga. If you haven't seen this already, she's barely in the movie, she's barely in the movie, she's barely in the movie. She's barely in the movie to the point to where this movie is about an hour and 30 minutes long out of the portion of it that's actually a movie. It's about an hour and 30 minutes long out of an hour 45 runtime. She shows up for maybe 10 minutes combined throughout the whole entire actual movie runtime. But guess what happens? At the end credit scene, she get her own title card. Shorty is barely in the movie. And the few lines she does get are so unimportant. You could replace anybody with her, and the acting quality would still be the same. Like she showed up for a check. That's the way she was performing. She wasn't putting her heart into it. And to be fair, they didn't give her shit to put her heart into. Evelyn Longoria was quietly released online last week and received universally negative reviews, which I do agree with for once. This shit is fucking terrible. Clips of the horrible sci-fi disaster flick, which is told entirely via a computer screen, have gone viral online. Started a sentence over the conjunction, and the reason for that is, you know how like on Twitter when people will comment to something and they'll use like a gif of somebody reacting, some generic reaction. Like, this movie has a lot of those moments, because like one thing I noticed partway throughout the movie is a lot of the movie is, it feels like the writer is insulting my intelligence, and a lot of the movie the writer has Ice Cube hop in moments where he could shut the fuck up and the point would still get across, and they have him hop in and tell us what's going on in the movie. So instead of just, let's say for example, the scene where he thought his son blew up, like the robot alien monster, whatever the fucks, shot a missile at his house, blew his house up, and he thought his son died. Instead of just letting the moment rock, just letting him go, he had to say, oh no, I think my son is dead. My son is truly dead. And the second he said that, I was like, with the shitty writing of this movie, I already predict that his son is alive as fuck. Then he reconnects 2 seconds later and he's like, oh look, dad, it's a green screen. I'm really at somebody else's house. Then he's like, wait, but my house blew up. How am I gonna get my house back? Like, nigga, there are aliens attacking the fucking world. I don't think whether you're getting your house back or not should be your goddamn concern. It should be if you're gonna live tomorrow to give a fuck about that house, all right? You thinking about a mortgage and down payments you put down on that house, nigga, the whole world is about to go down. The bank and the people that worked in it and the evil fucked up CEOs that work in it and the government that enables them are all about to be dead. I don't think that house is an issue. Shelter for everybody will equally be an issue. But going back to this, like there's a lot of times where the writer and director, it feels like they're insulting our intelligence. They never let moments rock. Like, I've always been a person who doesn't mind letting the writer put things in to tell you what's going on with the plot. My thing has always been, as long as it isn't basic, where the writer's going, oh my god, I'm so sad. As long as it's a little bit of nuance to where a character doesn't straight up always say their feelings. Like, if a character is a blunt character, then that makes sense. But if every character in the movie is saying exactly how they're feeling using direct adjectives, like whenever a character in a movie is sad, they're going, I'm sad. Whenever a character in a movie is mad, they're going, man, I'm so angry at you. Like, I don't like that type writing. I don't mind characters telling you how they feel, as long as everybody isn't straight up telling you how they feel in the exact same way. And that's the problem with this movie. And like, there were also a lot of bullshit moments with this movie, but the scene I think they're going to talk about is probably going to illustrate that well enough. Anyway, one particular clip involving an Amazon delivery driver and a drone perfectly... Yup. Okay, so that scene is before. So, Ice Cube is the agent, right? He's the one who's controlling the main computer where you're seeing most of the plot happen. He has a daughter. I don't remember what the fuck her name is. A son, David. He has his like son-in-law or whatever the fuck. Like the dude that played the original Roderick, not the Asian Roderick, the original Caucasian Roderick from Diary of a Wimpy Kid. He played an Amazon delivery driver in this movie that was a boyfriend and baby father of Ice Cube's daughter. This nigga got so many points in the fucking movie where, all right, the father in the movie, Ice Cube, he's an agent at the American Department of Homeland Security. The daughter is a biochemist. The son is an international level world hacker. He's the level of hacker where he's terrorizing the fucking government, sending them on a wild goose chase because they're looking for his ass because he's leaking all they goddamn secrets. These are the other 3 people in the movie. Oh, and the evil Longoria chick, she plays the intelligent NASA worker. So these are 4 people that are 100 times more qualified than Amazon nigga to be able to do anything in this situation. There were a lot of points where the nigga that worked at Amazon was giving critical solutions. Like the daughter, she was in her university or whatever. The alien robots attacked. She's pregnant, by the way, which I don't know why the fuck that was a plot point. I feel like they fucked that up and misconstrued that somewhere. But the daughter was pregnant, right? Shrapnel, debris, whatever the fuck you want to call it, ends up in her leg. So she's bleeding all over the place, right? She needs to get to a hospital. But being that these robot aliens attacked everywhere on the planet at the same time at once, all the hospitals are full. By every metric, they're at full capacity. By the machines metric of their system, their POS type system, and by the metric of the physical hospitals, there's so many people in the lobby, they gotta say, hey, if you ain't dying, you ain't getting no medical treatment. The hospitals are that level of full. Excuse me. So he doesn't send his daughter to the hospital. He sends his daughter to a random government building that's fucking empty, and she walks around the building. Mind you, this woman is pregnant, and I'm no damn doctor. I'm no doctor. So please correct me if I'm wrong. But his pregnant wait. I'm no medical expert, but correct me if I'm wrong. His pregnant daughter that was sitting in the back of a Tesla bleeding for a mile was able to walk into a desolate building with nobody in it, sit down. Her leg is still bleeding. She has debris in her leg. She took the debris out her leg. By the way, medically speaking, I'm not a doctor, but I do know if you have debris in your leg, you're not supposed to remove it. She, a pregnant woman, removed the debris out her leg, and the Amazon worker, who's her boyfriend, baby father, proceeds to cover up her leg with fucking tape. Not even duct tape, not even Flex Seal tape. This nigga wraps her leg up in Scotch tape, bro. Scotch tape. Yes, you heard that right. I said Scotch tape. And she didn't bleed out for the rest of the movie. Oh wait, I pressed the wrong one. But to further keep going, like the amount of times Roderick in that movie came through, clutched everything, and saved the day. I want to know, like, bro, when you was fucking that CEO, when you was getting them backstrokes, like, I really want to know, when Roderick was taking them backstrokes, that director or whatever was in there going, watch out for the big girls, watch out for the big girls, bang, 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 bang. How many strokes did it take for him to make you that important in that movie? Because that character should not have been that goddamn important. He was a regular ass nigga at Amazon. How the fuck was he one of the leading forces in the solutions for the movie? Nigga, you drive an Amazon truck. Fuck is we talking about? Anyway, going back to this, is less a movie and more a cheap branding exercise that doesn't even hit 90 minutes. Yeah, there was a lot of branding in there. Like, I saw a random part in the movie where there was a tweet from Joe Rogan. I was like, I wonder how much he paid for that. Released on the 30th of July, War of the Worlds was cooked up during the height of 2020, blah, 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 nigga. Instead of following a group of characters through a dangerous, hostile invasion, you mostly watch Ice Cube struggle to act in front of a webcam for 80 minutes. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. Most of the movie was him doing the same reaction over and over. I feel like deadass, most of Ice Cube's part in the movie is they told him, hey, step back from the camera and act like you're surprised. And he went, oh, ow, ah, like 20 times in a row. And they just said, we'll cut some CG footage of us zooming around your computer screen, and that's half his performance. Like, I'm not joking when I say most of his performance could have been done in 10 hours. And that's being very generous. Most of his performance, vocals included, dubbing included, could have been done in 10 hours. Very late in the film, Ice Cube's character needs a specific piece of code to shut down a powerful computer that the aliens are going after, and which the United States is willing to nuke to keep out of their Martian hands. This is an incorrect statement because they never stated what planet they were from. The problem is that Ice Cube and a load of people, including his family, would likely be killed by the bomb. So a hacker sends him the code, which was his son, signing a sentence over the conjunction. He has to put it in a USB thumb drive, which he somehow doesn't have. That actually made sense because he mentioned that since he was in a government, like he was in a Homeland Security level government building, there's no USBs in the entirety of the building. That actually somewhat makes sense because in terms of transferring data, USBs are kind of outdated. Again, I'm not a government official or anything, so I'm just going off of a lot logistical assumptions. It is very easy for somebody to get hacked through a USB or through a hard drive. And for the simple fact that, like, there's a classic trick hackers use where they figure out what type of USBs or USB printing service they're using in the building. They put malicious code on a USB and they go next to a bunch of cars, throw USBs on the ground and hope that some unassuming dumbass picks up one of those USBs and goes, oh, I guess I must have dropped my USB while I wasn't looking, and plug it into the government system. Now they're in and they're hackerman.coming it, smacking the keyboard as a bunch of alphanumeric characters pop up on the screen and they pretend to hack. So like that part made sense. It kind of makes sense. Because if you've ever been in any type of technology, if you've been around somebody who's paranoid when it comes to technology, this movie irks you. Because I have, and I've seen a lot of things where it's like, all right, nigga. Like, especially that scene where all of David's hacker friends, when they got their 5 seconds of fame before they all got blown up like it was New Jersey. It's like, bro, if I was technologically paranoid, right? Nothing I do is going to show my real location. So these people who are trying to expose the government, their real location was not only they were not only hacking into the government from their real locations at their real house, number one. Number two, you're telling me that all these niggas had webcams hooked in their computer? Bro, if you've ever, hold on, because I feel like this needs to be stated. You don't even have to be smart with technology to meet somebody technologically paranoid that either doesn't have their webcam visible, that like as in they either put tape over their webcam if it's a laptop, or they just don't connect one to their desktop. You telling me 5 niggas that's hacking into the government all had their webcam plugged in? I look stupid. I look like Boo Boo the Fool to you? Nigga, when I'm done streaming, my main computer, my webcam is not plugged in. My webcam is plugged into a second computer, which when I'm not streaming, when I'm done at night, that computer's completely off. Like down to the motherboard is not getting power. So you telling me, my non-technologically smart ass is smart enough to do that. But these niggas that can hack into the government is not smart enough to not have a webcam connected to their fucking computer. Like I look like a dumbass to you? And that's another thing I mean when I say a lot of what this movie does, it feels like an insult to my intelligence. Because like you don't even have to be a fucking technological genius to figure out this shit is stupid, and that's not how it works. The problem is that Ice Cube and a load of people, blah, 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 blah. Ice Cube, no. Don't worry, Ice Cube's daughter has an idea. She downloads the code and loads it up on a USB drive, and then her boyfriend, who is an Amazon delivery nigga, will use his Amazon Prime Air drone to deliver the USB device to Ice Cube and save the day. Here's the scene. Y'all could go to this website and watch it on your own. This is the scene, and if you just want to see this scene and you have to... music unrelated to go see this scene, it's about like somewhere after the hour-long mark. Like after, like honestly, skip the first 16 minutes of the movie because that's not where the funny shit starts. But if you just want to see this scene, it's about a little over an hour and it's about a 20-minute scene. Well, this particular scene they're showing is like a minute clip of it, but it's about a 20-minute scene, and oh my god, that shit is fucking hilarious. That shit is as hilarious as they say it is. Yeah, you just watched an Amazon Prime ad shoved into this movie about an alien invasion. This honestly feels like a Super Bowl commercial more than a film. Yeah, because this shit was unrealistic. Like, if you go watch that scene, you'll see a bunch of parts. Let me see if I get a screenshot of it. Hold up. Let me drag it off screen. Okay, he orders a drone. Aw, damn, they didn't show that part. But there's a part of the movie where his drone is flying through the sky and there's all types of missiles being shot at other drones trying to chase the Amazon Prime drone. And like me, as somebody who is a drone flyer, frequent drone flyer, matter of fact, let's say I don't think I'm cat. Oh, wait, no, it didn't. Let's say I don't think I'm cat. I'm not a drone expert, but I've flown a drone before, okay? Wait, so y'all could actually see it. I've flown a drone. Can y'all see it? Okay, yeah, cool. Y'all see my shit. I've actually flown a drone before. And as somebody who's flown a drone, I'm not saying that Amazon may not have better drones than me, being that they're a bigger company and they have more funding. But I piloted other drones than this, and even some of the amazing drones I piloted wouldn't be able to make it through that shit. I'm sorry, nigga. That shit was maneuvering through that bitch like it was an airplane. But they had a scene where when the shit was flipped over on its back, it couldn't flip over by itself. But you telling me that shit could do barrel rolls in 360? Like, I understand those were supposed to be references, like do a barrel roll, Star Fox, but come on, my nigga. Come on, my nigga. You think I'm stupid, slow, or dumb? Here's the wild thing. This isn't the worst moment involving Amazon in a movie. A few minutes after the scene, the drone crashes and flips over near a homeless man living in a tent. Yeah! This movie was fucking... that part of the movie was crazy too. So, I'm gonna describe it for you. Basically, because their description is not gonna be that great. Long story short, the drone is doing all its maneuvers. Like I said, this drone, keep in mind, during this scene is doing all types of barrel rolls, flips and maneuvers. This drone is flying this far away from another drone that's getting blown up with a whole helicarrier ass missile getting shot at it. This drone is going down. This shit is just still flying. No injuries sustained type shit, right? So there gets to a point to where he tries to maneuver under a bridge to get from those drones, and the shit flips and it hits the ground and it's upside down. And the drone camera is pointing at a random man in a tent who's technologically paranoid. He lives on the side. He's on some Skid Row shit under a bridge. They hack into the system, do some magical stuff, figure out his number, and they text him, hey, see that drone right there? Flip it over. He's basically like, fuck you, why I need to flip it over? They said, hey, if you flip it over, we'll get free internet for a year. He said, so you could track me? They said, the Amazon nigga, this was another one of those moments where I was like, yo, how many times did you let the director stroke you? How many strokes in your back did you let him get in, Roderick, so that he could make you so important that offering him a band, an Amazon, a $1,000 Amazon gift card made this nigga go, oh, let me flip the drone over. Like, my nigga, Amazon, for people who are technologically paranoid, they know that Amazon is one of the most invasive companies out there. Half the fucking bright web runs off of Amazon. So anything you do on the internet anyway is trackable by Amazon. But you're willing to spend $1,000 on their platform but not get a year of free internet? And first off, that year of free internet shit was capped. So was the 1K Amazon gift card, but still. Really, nigga? And even worse, how you got the authority to give a nigga a gift card that go up to $1,000? Last time I checked, them bitches max out at $500. You gave him one that was equal to a band? Alright, nigga. Alright, nigga. Yeah, you just... Oh, wait. Pushing him over the edge and getting him to fulfill the deadly task. Gross shit. By the way, everybody else who was a part of saving the world, because these technology attacks weren't just going on in America. It was going on across the planet. So this random homeless nigga that helped save the world, whose phone number you have, that at the end of the movie, I didn't see in a resolution. They didn't give this nigga no credit. They didn't give this nigga a fucking crib. They didn't give this nigga nothing. This nigga still homeless, living in a tent on the side of the fucking road. But he was promised $1,000 in Amazon gift card monies. That's probably gonna be nullified the second the CEO says, nigga, we don't even make cars that go up that high. Deny. Anyway, War of the Worlds is barely a movie. More than half the runtime is just a view of a desktop PC and stock footage spliced into Windows as if they're security cameras or YouTube videos. Yeah, because there was some particular points in the beginning of the movie where I noticed that they weren't even trying to hide the fact that it was stock footage. Because it was in particular in that scene where everything started popping off, where the missiles started flying towards people. Like, you can see views of people walking down a beach, fucking taking selfies of themselves, walking down a beach like this with big ass missiles flying by. Now, I'm not saying everybody there has the reaction time of a goddamn FGC top level player or something like that. Like, I'm not saying everybody there got Call of Duty, PC hacker, sweat levels of reaction time. But you telling me these big ass not missiles. You telling me these big ass meteorites are flying through the sky and everybody's just walking on the beach? Get the fuck out of here. That shit was obviously sliced up, like they said, footage. YouTube videos. It's horrendous, it's awful, and it's exactly the kind of movie Amazon and other big corporations want to make. Movies that are barely movies, made for little money, starring people you might recognize and filled with ads and product placement. This is our future. It sucks, huh? Also, there's a scene in particular that I want to talk about. Now, this scene may not mean nothing to y'all, but this shit means so much to me. There was a scene where Ice Cube's son revealed to Ice Cube that he was a hacker, right? And basically he was doing a typical movie hacker thing, uploading videos on YouTube saying, hey guys, everything is gonna go bad if you don't listen to me. Typical hacker man movie shit, right? There was a scene where his father realized what was going on and he was in with him on it and helping them hack back and fight back against the government. And he basically, this nigga fully edited and put together a video with motion graphics in HD 4K and exported it in under 15 fucking minutes. Now, when you see that scene, you'll understand what I'm talking about, but anybody who's ever edited anything knows that if you start editing at 11:53, you will not be done by no fucking not 11. If you start editing at 1:57, you will not be done editing by no goddamn 2:11. With all, like, if you looking at and see all the motion graphics and stuff he had in there, it's like, bro, I know people with some crazy fast workflows. No, the nigga, if he was an editor, maybe, but the nigga's not even an editor. He's just a nigga doing Homeland Security and out. You telling me that this regular Homeland Security nigga got DaVinci Resolve downloaded and he's just ready to go with some edits where he's just doing all these complex, complicated edits that include motion graphics, that include rotoscoping, that include splicing, timing, adding music? Get the fuck out of here. There's no way you had all that shit ready and you're not an editor. Get the fuck out of here, nigga. Like, that scene in particular pissed me clean the fuck off. Clean the fuck off. But anyway, I have more articles and shit that I'm gonna talk about tomorrow when I come outside and go play. But with that being said, there are more videos and stuff like that over there you can check out if you want to see me yap about other things. Make sure you subscribe on full screen from when I say this, because if you're on desktop, your like button is gonna light up when I say hit the like button. So go ahead and hit that like button, help a brother out. Hit the subscribe button, help a brother out. If you made it to this part of the video, I want you to comment, I disagree, this nigga's acting was actually amazing. word for word, bar for bar. If you're a white person, you do not have permission to use nigga. Say fella or brother. Actually, don't say brother. Say fella. Fuck nigga.